Welcome back, guys, to another episode. I'm your host, Coach Kenny, CEO of Kirunda Group. You guys for joining me again on YouTube, on Facebook, on if you listen to us on iTunes or wherever you listen. Appreciate all those people coming out and supporting. We always love comments. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star, give us a thumbs up. Always appreciate that. It's always nice to hear comments, even if they're productive and help you improve the show. So if you guys have ideas, guests you want to see on the show, people that you might be interested in seeing on the show, please let us know. We can try to reach out to those people and make a connection, and that way we can bring them on the show and hopefully do something well. We have just a reminder, on Wednesdays we do still have the Zoom calls every Wednesday, 10 a.m. On how to start a successful business, strictly business talk, and we really help people start from. And so all those episodes get loaded up. They'll be loaded on YouTube eventually. But right now we're doing live Zoom calls every Wednesday, strictly about business. If you're an entrepreneur, if you have a business and you want it to help grow, if you want to be able to get loans, if you want to learn about the insides of how business works, we go all over that, guys. Don't forget, every Wednesday we have 2 left, and then that's it. Then that series is done. So I want to make sure you guys get in there and get all the questions that you might have in terms of starting a business or being an entrepreneur. Now, today I want to talk about 3 ways to increase your emotional intelligence. 3 ways to increase your emotional intelligence. Now, we know obviously there's IQ, intelligence quotient, but people forget that there's also an emotional quotient, meaning IQ for your emotions, meaning being able to understand your emotions. It's really tough to do it when you don't think about it that often. But I really challenge you to think about it all day today, about how you react to things. And not only that, but what do you do in terms of the reactions, but then how does it affect you in the future? This show is called Invest in Your Future. So we talk about money, business, all those things, but also we always talk about personal development. And personal development comes down to understanding how your mind works. And the way you can really see how your mind works is watching your emotions. What is emotional intelligence? Let's first define it so people understand what it is. Some people don't know what it is. So emotional intelligence is pretty much the ability to identify your feelings, the ability to identify how you react to things. It's also the ability to identify, not just how you react, but how you got to that reaction. What caused you to get to that reaction? That's emotional intelligence. That's something that's very powerful, and if you have high emotional intelligence, you will most likely have low stress in your life. Because if you have a high emotional intelligence, you control how you react to things and you control your feelings, emotions. So when it comes to money, you're not emotional about it. You understand the logic behind it. But when it comes to understanding other people and doing business with people, networking with people, you have to have a high emotional intelligence. That's why a person who doesn't have that is really a hermit, someone who hides from people, who stays in the house by themselves, people who are not, who are awkward in crowds or awkward at table, like that don't talk. It's usually the truth is they usually have a low emotional intelligence. They don't know how to interact with people. They don't know how to control their feelings or the emotions. And the reason this is important because it helps in terms of all facets of your life. It helps you with relationships. It helps you with business. It helps you with money. It helps you with on how successful you're going to be, because usually the people that have a very high emotional intelligence are, and you just do your own research. This is the truth. These are people who are like, Fortune 500 company owners or CEOs, high level, executives, or, high level lawyers, high level doctors, high level nurses. All these people have a very high emotional intelligence, because you have to think about it. If you're a doctor and someone comes in shot and you sit there, start shaking and crying because you can't control your emotions, you're going to be a great doctor. So it's the same thing with money and in business. If a deal comes into your pipeline and you have low emotional intelligence, you won't be able to take down that deal. If you have, it affects all parts of your life. You have to really think about it. If you have a low emotional intelligence, most likely you're going to have a job. You can never be a boss or an owner, because you don't have the measure to be able to deal with other people. You don't have the intelligence to deal with other people emotionally. So that's what emotional intelligence is the ability to identify your feelings, also your emotions and how you got there, and then how do you react to those things. That's the emotional intelligence, because you can see it. You can see how you react to when somebody cuts you off in traffic. If you have low emotional intelligence, when someone cuts you off, you want to do all the other things, which is flipping the finger, yell at them, honk, maybe even tailgate them. That's very low emotional intelligence, because that means you're letting someone react, their actions affect on how you're going to react in your emotions right now. That means they can control you. It's same thing with competition. Usually the person who has a very high emotional intelligence can control the other person. A person with very high emotional intelligence can control a worker or a company or a network, or business. But those who don't are the ones usually underneath, because you have to understand, when you react to something and you can't control that reaction, that means in that part of your life, whether that's a business or someone, like I said, someone cuts you off, that means that you need to improve your emotional intelligence. You need to learn on what caused you to react like that. What made you honk? What made you flip the finger? What made you scream and yell? What made you tailgate? And how do you feel inside? Those are the things you need to understand. Those are the things you can improve. And I'll give you some ways to improve these things, because they'll help you in all parts of your life, especially if you're an entrepreneur or in business, or just in general in terms of building relationships with your family, your wife, whatever, or your kids. Usually the person with the highest emotional intelligence is the strongest person in the room. It's not even a question. So it's very important to not only increase your emotional intelligence, but it's also important to consistently improve it. You never reach like, I'm finished, I'm done now. No, it's always constant working. With me, I used to have really bad emotions when it came to like tests, or if someone, like, let's say we're in a club and someone bumps me, I'd feel like I want to chest up with them. I'd want to do something. If someone stepped on my sneaker, I felt like I needed to hit him in the face. And those things showed me that I have a very low emotional intelligence. And I saw those things. Your whole day, you're gonna go up and that's one of the first key on how to improve your emotional intelligence. Never be too high, never be too low. The reason for this is because you want to be able to expect all those, the highs and the lows. And that way you can easily bounce back. But if you get emotional, and those people, who are very emotional, they something happens, they 0 to 100. They see red and they want to fight, they want to do something. You can see it. It's very animalistic. It's very it's the monkey brain. It's you reacting instead of thinking correctly and thinking, I need to improve my emotional intelligence and keep an even keel. So that's the first step, is improving your emotional intelligence, is keep an even keel, not too high, not too low, in anything, in business, in life, and everything like that. Yes, you could be ecstatic on a moment or something like that, but overall your day should be a nice even keel. No matter what happens, you get a flat tire, I'm even keel. I win the lottery, yes, I might be happy for a little, but I'm even keel, because then you make smart decisions if you have a high emotional intelligence. So, especially if you're not in a rush anywhere. I am being impatient, meaning I'm doing something, I'm going to change something. If something, anything that you point out high and you figure out what you're doing wrong, you'll easily see it. You'll say, okay, I'm being impatient, or I'm being nervous, I'm being whatever, and I'm having a low emotional intelligent moment. I need to really get smarter and not flip off that guy, not tailgate that guy. Because it could really ruin your whole day. It goes into those really spikes in terms of emotions, and those spikes can really become a habit. And then eventually, now every single time someone cuts you off, you want to tailgate them. You want to flip them off. You want to do these things that really don't help you. Same thing with business. When you get a check, you think you're the man, you think you're the smartest guy in the world, but in the end, you could spend all that money, or don't get that deal. You think, oh, I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, when you just maybe lost the deal because it's small. So understand, there's no reason to go up and down in terms of emotions. It's really even keel. And then use I. So I'm being impatient. I'm being unconscious in this decision. Or develop empathy. If you want to develop high emotional intelligence, you have to develop empathy. And empathy, what it does is it helps you it helps you think of others' feelings. It helps you, be in their shoes so that you can see, if you reacted that way, how they would react also, and how they can how they feel if you told them they're an idiot or they're dumb or something like that. You could see that and you say, you know what? I would empathize with that person, and I wouldn't want that person to say that to me. So you're thinking about other person's feelings. That's a very high emotional person. That's how people run businesses, high-level businesses, because they can think about other people and the positions or their situations that they're in, or their feelings, or their emotions. That's when you become a very high intelligent person, emotional intelligent person. Fourth thing is taking proper action. So let's say if something does happen to you and you feel like you're about to react, the best thing to do is take 3 deep breaths. 3 deep breaths, and automatically you'll make a better decision. 3 deep breaths. It's that simple. Proper action is doing that, and you will make a much better emotional intelligent decision depending on what you're trying to decide on. And the final thing is, a very high emotional intelligent person, they forecast and they see what the decision is going to cause. So if I know for a fact that I'm in the club and someone bumps me and I punch somebody, I can forecast that I'm probably going to get dragged out and kicked out the club and whatever. I can forecast that. That's being highly emotional intelligent, saying, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let this guy slide, or he's going to say sorry and buy me a drink or whatever, something. So understand, there's better ways to deal with things if you can forecast and forward think about what would happen if I take the wrong emotion, or if I don't have a high emotional intelligence right now. That's very important. So those will improve your emotional intelligence. I said 3, but I gave you a bunch. So understand that if you want to be a high level person, you want to move up to levels and increase your whatever in terms of your money or your business or whatever, you have to have a high emotional intelligence all the time. All the time. Yes, it can slip once in a while, but majority of the time, 80% of the time, you should have a very high emotional intelligence day. Also think about other people's feelings. Always forecast and think about how my emotions reacting will cause somebody else's emotions and reactions. And that's when you'll start actually seeing results in terms of improving your emotional intelligence. All right, guys, thank you for joining me again. I appreciate it. If you guys see on YouTube or Instagram, or you hear it on iTunes, give us a thumbs up, give us a 5-star subscription. We love all those things. If you have comments, likes, or dislikes, we appreciate all that. Don't forget Wednesday Zoom call. We have 2 left. Make sure you come out here and learn about how to improve your business acumen. All right, guys, until next time, I'll see you at the top.